Hello, guys. Carolina, John Edwin, Laura, Lisbeth.
Buenas noches para todos.
Hello, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening. How is it going? How do you feel today? How is it going? Do you know the meaning of this question? How is it going? Do you understand? ¿Saben qué significa esto? How is it going?
No, señor.
Can you write through the chat box, please? Could you please write through the chat box? Escriban por el chat, por favor. Lisette, hello, good evening.
Hello, profe.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Hello, profe.
Hello. Jason, Alexander, Carolina, Elizabeth, Jean Edwin, Juan Pablo, Laura, Lisette, Michael. How are you doing? How do you feel
Good
today?
evening, teacher.
Good evening, Michael.
Day is very good because Portugal won the game. It's good.
Ah, good. That's
It's
excellent.
good. Yes, teacher.
That's good. That's good. Portugal. Well, okay, guys. Well, I want to share a video with you before starting the class. I want to share something about TED Talks. Let me share a video with you. I love these kinds of videos.
Yes, about this interview job.
No, no, no. No, these are videos about, well, about many different topics. Is seeing, really believing. There are a lot of, there are a lot of lessons on risk from the ICU. How 3 words will change your life. Are you being too nice at work? Learning English. I want to share I want to share a short video about 4 reasons to learn a new language. Okay. I want to share a video, a short, very short video with you before starting the class. I want to share this with you, guys. Well, we are going to watch this video, and please try to take notes. Write down, you know, write down any important information about this short video. Please write, well, just isolated words or isolated sentences about this video. Por favor, tratemos de escribir lo que entendamos en este video. Vamos a ver el video durante 4 minutos, ¿ok? ¿Ok, guys?
Okay, teacher. Okay, teacher.
Okay. take a piece of paper and a pencil to write down isolated words or ideas about the video. Okay? When we finish watching the video, we can talk about these sentences and words.
The language I'm speaking right now is on its way to becoming the world's universal language, for better or for worse. Let's face it, it's the language of the internet, it's the language of finance, it's the language of air traffic control, of popular music, diplomacy. English is everywhere. Now, Mandarin Chinese is spoken by more people, but more Chinese people are learning English than English speakers are learning Chinese. Last I heard, there are 24 universities in China right now teaching all in English. English is taking over. And in addition to that, it's been predicted at the end of the century, almost all of the languages that exist now, there are about 6,000, will no longer be spoken. There will only be some hundreds left. And on top of that, it's at the point where instant translation of live speech is not only possible, but it gets better every year. The reason I'm reciting those things to you is because I can tell that we're getting to the point where a question is going to start being asked, which is, why should we learn foreign languages other than if English happens to be? Should we learn?
Why should we learn foreign languages? Why? Why should we learn foreign languages? Do you understand the meaning of that question, guys? Do you understand the meaning of that question?
Yes,
Why?
teacher.
Yes. Yes, teacher.
What is the meaning of that question? Why should we learn a foreign language? What is that?
¿Por qué deberíamos
Ay.
aprender idiomas extranjeros?
Yes, that's right. Yes. That's good. Okay, keep moving.
Learn foreign language other than if English happens to be foreign to one? Why would you learn one when it's getting to the point where almost everybody in the world is in? I think there are a lot of reasons, but first address the one that you're probably most likely to have heard of than you might think. And that is the idea that a language channels your thoughts, that the vocabulary and the grammar of different languages gives everybody a different kind of acid trip, so to speak. That is a really enticing idea, but it's kind of fraught. So it's not that it's untrue completely. So for example, in French and Spanish, the word table is for some reason, so la mesa, you just have to deal with it. It has been shown that if you are a speaker of one of those languages and you happen to be asked how you would imagine a table talking, then much more often than could possibly be an accident, a French or a Spanish speaker is that the table would talk with a high and feminine voice. So if you're French or Spanish, to you a table is kind of a girl, as opposed to if you were an English speaker. It's hard not to love data like that, and many people will tell you that there's a world view you have if you speak. But you have to watch out, because imagine put us under the microscope, us being those of us who speak English natively. What is the world view from English? So for example, let's take an English speaker. Up on the screen, that is, he speaks English. I presume he has a a worldview. Now, that is Donald Trump. In his way, he speaks English as well. And here is Ms. Kardashian, and she is an English speaker too. So here are three speakers of the English language. What worldview do those three people have in common? What worldview is shaped through the English language that unites them? It's a highly fraught concept. And so gradual consensus is becoming that language can shape thought, but it tends to be in rather darling, obscure psychological flutters. It's not a matter of giving you a different pair of glasses on the world. Now, if that's the case, then why learn languages? If it isn't going to change the way you think, what would the other reasons be? There are some. One of them is that if you want to imbibe a culture, if you want to drink it in, if you want to become part of it, then whether or not the language channels the culture, and that seems doubtful. If you want to imbibe the culture, you have to control to some degree the language that the culture happens to be conducted in. There's no other way. There's an interesting illustration of this. I have to go slightly obscure, but really.
Well, he is explaining, you know, how to, the importance and the different characteristics of learning a foreign language. You know, learning a foreign language is important, it's necessary, it's mandatory, it's good for our health, it's good for our brains, it's good, it's necessary, well, whatever it is, okay? So that's, well, the thing is that we must be in touch with English. We must listen to English. We must watch videos, listen to music, read, do many things with English, okay? Well, in order to, well, to improve our language proficiency. That's it. Okay, guys. Now I want to share with you our learning guide for this week, our evidence. This is the evidence for this week. I'm going to share it with you. This is the evidence. Chronicle. This is a chronicle, okay? La crónica. This is what we are going to do during this week, to talk about a chronicle. So we are required to choose a famous character from Colombia or from the world to write about him or about her in order to write a chronicle about this person. Okay? Did you understand what we are required to do? ¿Entendieron lo que hay que hacer, chicos? Guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
So, well, try to write, well, here you have the kind of the rules to design this chronicle, okay? Chronicle about a character. It could be a writer, it could be an artist, it could be a singer, it could be a musician, it could be a football player, it could be any person in the world, a cyclist, whoever. Extension, one page, no more. 200 to 500 words, no more. One page, 200 to 500 words. It could be in a Word document or a PDF document. No more. About any person in the world. Any person famous. It could be Colombian, a Colombian person, or well, worldwide known person, you know, a famous person in the world. Okay. Questions about the evidence? No? Questions about the
Teacher,
evidence?
Yes, teacher.
I have a question. Mm, Yeah, I should making this in Canva, only
Yeah,
Word.
well, it's up. Thank you. Thanks for asking that question. You can design your chronicle, your document, well, in any application, any strategy, any format. It's up to you. Absolutely up to you. Okay? It's up to you. So, usted decide cómo lo hace. Okay?
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
It could be a PowerPoint presentation. It could be a video. It could be a Word document. It could be a PDF document. It could be done through Canva. It could be done through, well, whatever it is. Okay? Okay, good.
Okay, teacher.
So we are going to watch two interesting videos about two interesting people. Okay? I want to share with you. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. I'm going to share a video about a famous woman, a special woman. I love her. I love her. She's one of the, well, great women, no, greatest woman in the world. Greatest woman in the world. Frida Kahlo. Have you heard about her? Do you know her, Frida Kahlo? Have you seen
She
things about her? Have you read some things about Frida Kahlo? Yes?
woman Mexican.
Yes, she is. She was born in Mexico. She was a Mexican artist. Yes. Feet. What do I need you for when I have wings to fly? This is a very famous statement about her condition. Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly? A ella le iban a cortar una pierna o las dos piernas por una enfermedad y entonces sacó esta frase. Pies, ¿para qué los necesito si tengo alas para volar? Eso es escrito por ella. Okay, so, well, please take into account that you must uh, link the facts, the information, and dates about her, okay? Dates and information, dates and facts. Información y datos, fechas acerca de Frida Kahlo o acerca del personaje que usted escoja. Go ahead.
In 1925, Frida Kahlo was on her way home from school in Mexico City when the bus she was riding collided with the streetcar. She suffered near fatal injuries to her spine, pelvis, and hips and was bedridden for months afterward. During her recovery, she had a special easel attached to her bed so she could practice painting techniques. When she set to work, she began to paint the world according to her own singular vision. Over the course of her life, she would establish herself as the creator and muse behind extraordinary art. Though you may have met Kahlo's gaze before, her work provides an opportunity to see the world through her eyes. She painted friends and family, still lives and spiritual themes, but it was her mesmerizing self-portraits which first caught the world's attention. In an early work, Self-Portrait with Velvet Dress, the focus is on her strong brows, facial hair, long neck, and formidable stare. Such features remained, but Kahlo soon began to present herself in more unusual ways. For example, the broken column uses symbolism, religious imagery, and a ruptured landscape to reveal her physical and mental state. In 1928, Kahlo started dating fellow painter Diego Rivera. They
You
became
know, in 1928, is what I said. You must link, connect the dates, fechas, with facts, con los hechos, with the information about her. In 1928, Kahlo started dating fellow painter Diego Rivera, you know? So that is an important fact, an important situation about her personal life.
dating fellow painter Diego Rivera. They became lifelong partners and cultivated an eccentric celebrity. Together, they traveled the world and dedicated themselves to art, communist politics, and Mexican nationalism. Kahlo and Rivera shared a deep affinity with Mexicanidad, a movement which celebrated indigenous culture after the revolution. In her daily life, Kahlo wore a traditional Tejuano dress and immersed herself in native spirituality. And in her work, she constantly referenced Mexican folk painting, incorporating its bright colors and references to death, religion, and nature. With her imagery of giant floating flowers, undulating landscapes, transplanted body parts, and billowing clouds of demons, Kahlo has often been associated with surrealism. But while surrealists use dreamlike images to explore the unconscious mind, Kahlo used them to represent her physical body and life experiences. Two of her most explored experiences were her physical disabilities and her marriage. As a result of the bus accident, she experienced lifelong health complications and endured many hospitalizations. She often contemplated the physical and psychological effects of disability in her work, painting herself in agony, recuperating from operations, or including objects such as her back brace and wheelchair. Meanwhile, her relationship with Rivera was tempestuous, marked by infidelity on both sides. At one point, they even divorced, then remarried a year later. During this period, she painted the double self portrait, The Two Fridas, which speaks to the anguish of loss and a splintered sense of self. The Frida to the left has a broken heart, which drips blood onto her old fashioned Victorian dress. She symbolizes a version of the artist who is wounded by the past, but is also connected by an artery to a second self. This Frida is dressed in Tejuana attire, and although she remembers Diego with the tiny portrait in her hand, her heart remains intact. Together, the two suggest a position caught between past and present, individuality and dependency. Kahlo died in 1954 at the age of 47. In the years after her death, she experienced a surge in popularity that has lasted to this day. And although her image has proliferated, Kahlo's body of work reminds us that there are no simple truths about the life, work, and legacy of the woman behind the icon. Rather, she put multiple versions of her reality on display and provided us with a few entryways into the contents of her soul. Keep learning about inspiring women throughout history with this playlist.
Okay? Did you like the video about hair,
Yes,
guys?
teacher. Yes, teacher.
Well, what did you identify about hair?
She is
Why did you?
what think about this video?
Yeah, what?
She is an artist more important of the Mexico. Your mentality is strong.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Who else? Who wants to tell us a little bit more about this Frida Kahlo, please? Who wants to tell us more about her? About Frida Kahlo? Well, important dates. When did she die? When did she die? Listen to this important information about. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. I'm looking for. Okay. Yes, here you are. This is the date I wanted you to tell me, Frida Kahlo. This is Kahlo died in 1954 at the age of 47. You know? So who Can I ask you a question, please? For instance, Carolina, please, Danielle, Diana Alarcón, Diana Perez, Dina Luz. Can I ask you, when did she die? When did Kahlo die? When did she die? When did she die? When did Frida die? Could you please tell me?
Yes, teacher. She died in
In
1954.
Yes, yes. Remember, we must read the dates by pairs. 1954 in pairs. 1954. Okay? Good. That's okay. How old was Frida when she died? How old was she? How old? Dina Luz, Elizabeth, Fernanda, Ingrid, Jason,
She
Janelle, how
was?
old?
She had
Yes,
47 years.
Juan Pablo, she was 47.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, she was 47. She was 47. Good, excellent, excellent. Good, good, excellent. Um, Now for you, when were you born? When were you born? You, anyone. When were you born? Lisette,
I was born in August the 18th, 1998.
1998. Good. Lisette, when were you born? Elizabeth, Dina Luz, Ingrid, Jason, Jean Edwin, Laura, Michael, Miriam. When were you born? Miriam, please tell me. Tell us, when were you born? Que si puedo compartir el link. Okay, yes, of course, I can share the link. Wait a second. Wait a second. I want to share the link. I want to share the link. Well, how can I share it? ¿Cómo lo comparto? ¿A quién? Ahí está en el grupo que dice Advertising Development 5355. Ahí está el link. Y aquí también lo puedo compartir, pero si ellos no están acá, pues ¿cómo van a hacer? You know? Who need, who told me? Alexander. Okay. Alex, how can we share the link with your partners? I don't know how to do it. How can we share it? Miriam, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Miriam. How are you
Teacher,
doing?
I just copy the link that you sent in the chat and send it to the
Yeah,
WhatsApp group.
yeah, that's the easiest way to get it. Yeah, that's the easiest way, Juan Pablo. That's good. Thank you. Well, okay. So now we are going to watch a video about another famous person. Okay? Okay, more people are joining the session. That's good. That's excellent. Daniel Carabalí. Hello, Daniel Caraballi. How are you doing? Okay, let's watch the video about this famous character. I want to share this video about one of the greatest writers. Okay, Garcia Marquez.
Marzo de 1927 nació.
Well, this is in Spanish. I don't like this in Spanish. Well, time, let's watch a little.
¿Te emociona la idea de estudiar ciencia de datos?
Wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna share this. Stop sharing. I'm gonna share this. Okay. Let's wait. Normal. Well, oh my goodness, no. This is annotations, speed, normal, 75. Quality, stable volume annotations. Well, it could be. Closed caption, yes. Closed caption. Subtitle is closed caption unavailable. Okay. Well, let's watch this video, please. No. We don't have access to volume about him, about this short biography. Talks on display the life and legacy of Garcia Marquez. Wait a second. This one. I'm going to share it. Fortunately, this is the one. Okay, go ahead.
He was quoted as saying, "What matters in life is not what happens to you, but what you remember and how you remember it." The Harry Ransom Center's latest exhibit, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, The Making of a Global Writer, is a testament to the life of one of the most influential writers of the 20th century and how the world remembers him. The bilingual exhibit opened in February and is the first ever major display of Garcia Marquez's works and features around 300 items that span the writer's career. The exhibit takes visitors through his life, from his humble beginnings in Colombia to the pinnacle moment when he received the Nobel Prize on stage in Sweden. Among the items are manuscripts of some of Garcia Marquez's most famous works, such as 100 Years of Solitude and Love in the Time of Cholera, personal letters from world leaders like U.S. President Jimmy Carter and celebrities such as Shakira, and photographs and more. The Ransom Center acquired Garcia Marquez's archives in 2014, soon after he died at 87 years old. Here, his work joins that of some of his literary idols, such as William Faulkner, Ernest Hemingway, and Virginia Woolf.
Having Garcia Marquez's archives in this campus is for the community of readers, not just Latin American readers, but for global readers, is it's him. He was the most important writer, or one of the most important writers of the 20th century. He published a book that immediately became a bestseller and at the same time was valued as a great literary piece, which is nothing that happens usually. It was a phenomenon hardly ever seen before or after.
On one wall of the exhibit, Garcia Marquez is quoted as saying, "In the early years of my childhood, I was someone who had a world of his own, which is the one that has nurtured the rest of my work." First, visitors are taken through Garcia Marquez's childhood, growing up in Aracataca, Colombia, where he was raised by his maternal grandparents until he was 8. It then goes on to his young adult years, when he worked as a journalist and got his start publishing short stories. For years, he moved around Europe, Venezuela, and the United States. Then in 1961, he moved to Mexico City with his wife and collaborator, Mercedes Barcha Pardo, and their 2 sons. 6 years later, he published 100 Years of Solitude, the story of the rise and fall of the mythical town of Macondo through the history of the Buendia family.
No se escucha nada.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Forgive me. Oh my goodness. I thought you were listening to this.
Garcia Marquez's biography.
What about now? ¿Ahora sí están escuchando, chicos?
Sí, es que se estaba escuchando como hasta la mitad
Pero
y después
no
se
fue todo, no
silenció.
fue todo. Fue
Exacto.
un pedacito
Okay.
nomás.
Okay. So let's start with
A partir del minuto, en el
with this
minuto
end
5 había
with
Más
here.
adelante, cuando
Garcia
salió
Marquez
el
is
señor.
quoted as visitors are taken through Garcia Marquez's childhood. It then goes on to his young adult years, when he worked as a journalist and got his start publishing short stories. For years, he moved around Europe, Venezuela, and the United States. Then in 1961, he moved to Mexico.
Can you see the relationship, the connection between dates and facts? You know, that is a chronicle. Eso es la crónica, okay? So you are required to connect dates, numbers, 1961, 1920, 2001, 2005, 1999, with different moments of the person. For instance, in Garcia Marquez, in 1961, he moved to Mexico City with his wife and his family, you know? So those are moments in the life of this person connected with numbers, with dates, okay? That is the bottom line of a chronicle, you know? That is the most important part of a chronicle. That means a chronicle. When you say, when you give us information about the person you chose or you choose, and dates about this person, okay? That is chronicle, okay? Well, let's keep listening
Mexico
to
City with his wife and collaborator, Mercedes Barcha Pardo, and their 2 sons. 6 years later, he published 100 Years of Solitude, the story of the rise and fall of the mythical town of Macondo through the history of the Buendia family. The novel went on to sell over 45 million copies and solidified Garcia Marquez's name as a literary classic.
Classics are classics because, among other things, are not only loved by people, but they're also criticized by people. So they are passed on from one generation to another. We use classics to make sense of things that happen to us on an everyday basis, or measure historical events, or even to name planets. So last year, in December 2019, the International Astronomy Association actually decided to name one one star, which is 91 light years away from Earth, after Macondo, which is the village at the center of 100 of solitude, right? So and this is what classics do.
The exhibit, which runs until July 19th, nears a close with Garcia Marquez's Nobel Prize in Literature in 1982. He was the first Colombian and fourth Latin American to receive the honor. He often used his position as a famed author for political and cultural means. He wrote about Latin American politics, created a film school in Cuba, and founded what is now called the Gabo Foundation, which trains journalists in Latin America. At the height of his career, Garcia Marquez had befriended and met with world leaders, including Cuba's Fidel Castro, U.S. President Bill Clinton, and artists like Francis Ford Coppola and Akira Kurosawa. His works still resonate today. They are referenced in popular culture, taught in classrooms, and as of last year, Netflix announced it will adapt 100 Years of Solitude into a series. He left behind numerous legacies, from his family, who he remained close to throughout his career, to his literary influence on generations of writers to come, to his impact on politics and human rights.
Okay. Well, so all that information is what we are going to take into account when we talk and when we choose a person to talk about, okay? When you choose a person, okay, well, we can choose that person and give information and and talk about the connection between this information and the date about these people, okay? So that's it. That is the evidence about. Do you have any question about this evidence, guys? Do you have any question? ¿Tienen
No, teacher.
preguntas?
No, teacher.
Okay, everything is so clear. Well, please, tomorrow, as soon as possible, I will try to download this video and upload it to YouTube, okay? To share it then through our WhatsApp groups, okay? Because here we cannot watch the videos in our platform yet. No podemos ver los videos en la plataforma, entonces lo voy a compartir en YouTube y mañana les comparto el link, ¿ok?
All right, teacher, I have a question. So do we have to do this individually or can it be
No,
done
no,
in
no,
groups?
you can do it in pairs or in groups of 3 people. But please, everyone must upload the evidence individually, okay?
Okay.
You can work in groups, 2 people, 3 people, but then when you upload the evidence through the platform, do it individually because I need to grade you. I need to grade you. I need to grade the evidence to you, okay? That's it. More questions? Luz Elena, Alexander,
And
well,
when is the
Juan Pablo.
deadline?
Well, the deadline is next Sunday. Next Sunday. It is the 23rd, June 23rd.
23rd?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
thank you.
please, I want to congratulate you because of your videos, because of your interviews, because of your brochures. Almost all the evidences you have submitted so far are great, are awesome. Congratulations, guys. Okay? I want to applaud you because you have been working so hard in this English competence. And you are doing quite well, guys. So, congratulations. You are great, great, great students. You are doing great and you are improving so fast your communication, your pronunciation, your everything about English, okay? Por favor, la gente que no habla mucho, la gente que no le da miedito hablar, por favor, atrevámonos a hablar en inglés, ¿ok? No importa si nos equivocamos, para eso estamos en la clase, para equivocarnos y aprender, ¿ok? We must learn Try, learn, take risks. Be risky people. Be a risky person in order to learn, in order to improve our language. Debemos ser atrevidos con el idioma para mejorarlo. ¿Ok? Well, guys, good night. Thanks for attending the session. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye. Take care.
All
Bye
right, have a good
bye,
night.
teacher. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. Bye.
Good night, teacher. Thank you.
Good night. El trabajo dijimos que lo pueden hacer en parejas o en grupos, pero cada uno lo tiene que subir individual, ¿ok? Pueden hacerlo en el grupo colaborativo, no importa. En parejas, en grupos de 3 o grupo colaborativo, pero cada uno lo sube individual porque tengo que calificarle individualmente a cada uno, ¿ok? Lisette, bye bye, Lisette. Good night. Bye.